Good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome to the Fantasy Forecast for Tuesday, May 3rd, 2016. I hope you guys all won yesterday. Obviously, we had winning results. We have a new section here where it shows you your history, so let's pull that up real fast. You can see on the side there, and I'm not going to really refocus. You'll have to just, because I want to stay focused for the lineups. My tournament lineup that I tweeted at the last minute, guys, hit a 314. So you can see it paid all across the board. The amazing thing is that my cash lineup that I gave you guys on the video is this one right here. I know it shows second in the free league, but that's a 327, guys. That's even better than my other one did. My other one pulled up a 314. That was my tournament. So if you guys played the optimal cash yesterday, you did wonderful. And so did people that played these optimals as well. I'm going to show them all to you real fast. This 324, first one that I got there, that 324 lineup came from RotoWire last night. Compare against the videos, guys. RotoWire handed out a 324 last night. GPP winner as optimal cash. I handed out a 327.7. I just showed you guys that. Hooray. That's Tristan Thompson at the bottom, guys. You can tell this new system setup doesn't work great for the bottoms, but 322. Who gave us that? That was Roto Grinders. Roto Grinders had a 322 last night. Just their optimal without giving me any projections on it. 323 last night. That came from Daily Fantasy Nerd, guys. Every last one of those scores was better than mine, and even my optimal hit a GPP. So last night was a crazy night. Just wonderful. Okay, let's move on to today. We got all the optimals that we have for normal. This is Roto Grinders. I just gave you how all these guys did before, so you can start to compare and see which ones are better. You can also compare their projections against them too. The only one that didn't do as well yesterday was RotoQL. RotoQL came up with a 296 yesterday, and that's still a winner. I mean, for cash it is, but I mean, it wasn't like 320s like we were pulling, which is kind of cool. All right, starting out, Roto Grinders today has Lillard and Lowry in the point guard positions. They have DeRozan and Wade in the shot guard positions. They have Johnson and Iggy in the small forward. They got Draymond Green and Spigots. I can never say his name right. I'm not sure. There's a certain way to do it, I'm sure. At power forward. And in case you can't see, that's Mason Plumlee down there at the bottom. The top, you can see, they're leaving $700 in salary on the board. So, be wary with things like that. I don't know. I don't like leaving lots of salary on the board, even these two-game slates. I mean, it does happen, especially on a two-gamer, but it's a salary-based game. So really, you should be thinking about better ways to do this. Okay, so I did Roto Grinders, which is standard. This is probably RotoWire. All right, RotoWire has Lillard and Lowry in the point guard positions. Lillard projecting at 43 points. Lowry projecting at 35 points. We have Thompson and McCollum for the shot guard. Thompson projecting at 34 points. McCollum projecting at 32 points. They got Damari Carroll and Harrison Barnes at the small forward. Carroll's projecting at 23. Barnes is projecting at 22. Draymond Green and Ed Davis. I know Green put up 61 last time, but they're projecting him at 39. And Ed Davis is projecting at 20. And Mason Plumlee. They're finally catching on to him, but I don't know about him. Well, I still like him, but at 6,300, and he's projecting at 28 points. He's their center. This lineup leaves 800 on the table, and it's being projected at 276. Okay, that was RotoWire. Let's get to RotoQL. RotoQL has for us today Dragic and Lillard in the point guard positions. Lillard projecting at 40, Dragic projecting at 32. DeRozan and Powell for the shot guard. DeRozan's projecting at 35, and Norman Powell's projecting at 29. We got Harkless and Joe Johnson at the small forward. Joe Johnson's projecting at 24. Harkless is projecting at 27. Ruan Deng and Draymond Green. Deng is projecting at 25. Green is projecting at 35. And Whiteside for the center, in case you can't read that. Whiteside at the 8,000 price there. And he's projecting at 37. And they leave 400 on the table in their lineup. This lineup projects for them at 283. They did meet their projection yesterday, guys, by the way. I believe they did project around that 295 score that they actually got. It's just you kind of want a little bit higher. I think the breaking line on GPPs was 290 yesterday, if I'm not sure, and a little bit lower into, well, it's hard to know for sure on all these things. Okay, this is Lillard and Dragic. That who I just did for you guys? Yes, that was okay. So the next one is going to be Daily Fantasy Nerd, who did pretty damn good yesterday too. And they have Lowry and Lillard in the point guard positions. Lowry is projecting at 36 points. Lillard is projecting at 40 points. They have DeRozan and McCollum in the shot guard positions. DeRozan and McCollum are both projecting exactly at 36.3. That's funny to me because obviously McCollum would be the better value, but you know, on a shorter slate, you'll take 36.3 from both. $400 don't mean much. You got Harrison Barnes at small forward and Joe Johnson at small forward. Barnes is projecting at 25 for them, and Joe Johnson's projecting at 23. Ed Davis and Draymond Green at power forward. D Green projecting at 42. Easy Ed at 19 points. That's still more than 5 times value. I mean, so if he had his 20 on his other one, I mean, he really is looking like a good cheap option today in punt, guys. And then center, they went Mason Plumlee. They left 1,100 on the table, guys, which is pretty like whoa. But they project this at 285. Honestly, I want exposure to like Portland and exposure to Golden State just because the game total is so high. Although I know that the Toronto game is expected to be closer, and I think Miami might actually beat them. So you'll see my strategy later on that. I think on 2-game slates, guys, you really just have to kind of pick the winners, or that the game will be close, and then you've got your scores where you think the scoring is going to be in line where it should be. That's how I won yesterday on both that GPP I tweeted at the last minute to everybody and on the cash line. If you didn't get the GPP tweet, don't worry about it. It was 5 minutes before lock, guys, and you'd rather have had a 327 or basically 328 from my cash line than you would a 315 from my tournament. So it's all good. If you do have Twitter, though, I suggest you don't follow and, make sure that you're paying attention to what's going on Twitter because it's a great source of DFS information. It really is, guys. Okay, moving on to the less traditional ones. These ones didn't do as good the other day. Day-to-day doesn't matter. Sometimes they do pull some good ones. I remember saying when Daily Fantasy Cafes had the best one before. And they spent all their salary, too, which is interesting. They have Lillard and Lowry in the point guard position. They're projecting Lillard at 42 and Lowry at 42 as well. They've got Wade and DeRozan in the shot guard position. They got DeRozan projecting at 36, and they got Wade projecting at 34. We got Harkless and Aminu in the small forward. Aminu's projecting at 25, and Harkless is projecting at 23. We got Ed Davis and Luol Deng at power forward. Easy Ed's projecting at 21 for them, and 27 for Luol Deng. I think Deng is actually poised to get 35 tonight, guys. I honestly think they're way off on those numbers, all of them, but that's just me. And Whiteside, they're projecting at 41, and that's possible. It uses the whole salary, and projected score comes out to 292 using their projections. So it's one of the higher ones so far that we've seen. All right. Last up, we have Fantasy Pros, and they did miserable yesterday in comparison, guys. They got like a 280. I know that the day before they'd been the very best, but that's the thing with these optimizers. You kind of want to see where their similarities and differences are. Kind of go with some of the cores that you needed. Like if you didn't have LeBron James yesterday, you were screwed. And that was an easy one to call if you were doing optimizers. Some people will fade a guy like that. Maybe they just don't like Cleveland. You know what I mean? DFS is not a thing where you have allegiances. We all love certain teams, but I love the Lakers. Guys, they are horrible last year. I played Kobe maybe twice in all of DFS. You can look in all of my videos. And like one of the games I played him in was the very last one, when I knew he was going to jack up every shot that they gave him, and it was like a 75 fantasy point performance for like $6,000. It was insane. Another winning day. Certain narratives you can pull. Most people will tell you don't do a narrative like type of thing, but narrative every once in a while, you know it's going to happen, so you do it. Anyways, so on to Fantasy Pros. And I do diss them a lot, but let's see what they've got. Lillard and Lowry at the point guard. Lillard projecting at 39, Lowry projecting at 38. DeRozan and McCollum at shot guard. DeRozan projecting at 35, McCollum projecting at 31. Johnson and Winslow at the small forward. Joe Johnson's projecting at 22, and Justice Winslow's projecting at 16. I like Winslow as a punt today too, guys. I know most people won't, but he gets his minutes in there, and he normally does something with those minutes regardless. So I really do like him as a punt if you need it. Okay, you got Draymond Green and Ed Davis. Everyone loves Easy Ed. Draymond Green at 39 and Easy Ed at 19. And the reason why everyone loves Easy Ed is because he's not priced at 4,500. At that damn near minimum price, getting those minutes, he's like a Justin Winslow in the same way. You don't care how they get their points, as long as they get enough to pay you value and put the rest of your lineup together. Like if you guys saw like on my tournament lineup yesterday, I'll show it to you guys, but I had a big fat goose egg for one player, but it made everyone else fit, so it picked the wrong guy, that's it. I wish he'd gotten some minutes. Good old Tim Hardaway. Anyways. Hassan Whiteside at center, projected at 35. Your whole lineup for Fantasy Pros is projecting at 277, and they leave $300 on the table. Okay, now let's get to my optimal lineup, and then we're going to get to the DraftKings optimal lineup as well, and because there's not a few of them. This, you can see I have entries in here, guys. The way I have this, and you can just see just for the moment, look at my balance down there. There's like $31 in there or something like that. I have a $5 league already, which matches up against my entries in tournament. One entry in the big one for $3, one entry in the smaller one just for $1, and that's the one you guys should be playing if you only have a $5 budget. It should be the $1 GPP. Give yourself a chance, you know, or the single entry one right above it if you feel you want to play a single entry game. The prizes are much lower, but it's, you know, it's still a decent, and it is single entry, so you know the odds are fair when less lineups are put in. It's all right, and you know, so you play your GPPs. I got $5 there, and I'm gonna have to get another $5, like, you know, 50-50 league. So I'm playing like, you know, a 2-to-1 ratio or more of cash GPP, and that's how a single lineup player should play. That's how much you should be playing each night. You know, you should have 60, 70, even 80% of your lineup money in cash, as in 50-50 single entry games. It's just typical bankroll management, guys. All right, let's get to the lineup. Today's lineup: Lillard and Dragic. Actually, let's just go through the whole thing real fast. Lillard and Dragic at point guard. Clay and D. Wade at shot guard. Joe Johnson and Harrison Barnes at small forward. Draymond Green and Luol Deng at power forward. And Bogut is that center that you don't see at the bottom down there. Bogut is, God, I wish there was a Steven Adams night at 4,600, you know, but he's not. So we're looking at basically 4,500 for, you know, Bogut, and all right. I mean, that's, you know, that is the lineup. Try to pull it up. I'm just a touch there. Now, if I want you guys to look at it, it's stacked essentially. I'll pull this out real fast for Bogut. You can see he's Golden State. 1 Golden State. Draymond Green at power forward, 2 Golden State. Barnes at small forward, 3 Golden State. Klay Thompson, 4 Golden State. You guys are like, where is Livingston? Where is Livingston? Everyone's got Livingston today, guys. They finally caught on. And so I know that his value is good, and normally I'd be a proponent of taking it. But at 4,600, his value might not be as good. He might just get 20 points if Dragic for Miami does 35 or something. If he does 35 at 6 times value, he's certainly beat Livingston at 4,600. If Livingston only gives you 24 fantasy points, it's just a fact. I mean, do your 4,600 times 5 value. He needs 23 points tonight, Livingston. They're starting to catch him up a little on FanDuel. I don't think they're there yet. I would have no problem with anyone taking out Dragic and locking him in and putting the 1,900 in somewhere else and upgrading your center. That's really your other choice. See, your choice of center tonight is, do you go with Bogut or do you go with Plumlee? Now, we just saw some game history on this, though, too, on the last game. And that's where I look at my lineup and I wonder. And I think Bogut matches up better against Portland. You can read the summaries, but I look at the stats. He put up 33 fantasy points in just 25 minutes. And I think he could do something similar again tonight. Whereas, and if we do that switch, let's just look at an edit real fast. And head on up to Plumlee. Because there is JV, but you'd want Plumlee. Because it's the higher scoring game, guys. It's the 213 game. How is his total? I see it 25 points, 26 points for 25 minutes. Much worse than what he'd been doing before. 36, 36, 36. They're defending him a lot differently. A lot better, to be quite honest. Plumlee isn't going to get the opportunity, I don't think, in this game that Bogut will until there's been some adjustments. I think it's Bogut tonight versus Whiteside. And that's just my opinion there. And because I did Bogut and I was able to clear the money, that's what left me in this position right here. Having the cash, look, with $100 left, and that's not bad on a 2-game slate. Lillard and Dragic. Lillard is the best thing Portland's got for them. So you got a quadruple Golden State stack. But then, look at your other side. You have Portland. Okay, Portland, it's a high-scoring game. The rest of the stack is all Miami, guys. Miami, 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 Miami. Dragic, Wade, Johnson, and Deng. If Miami beats Toronto, it's because Miami actually outscores them. Toronto and Miami are the defensive type of teams, and they're probably likely to score, well, what they're saying, like a 95 to 95 game. The thing is, I think it's really likely to be a 95 to 95 game, and you could see some overtime. I want exposure to that. And especially on the Miami side, the team I think is going to win. For my last remaining player, since I can't do a double quadruple stack, I'll do Portland. And this is probably a way to differentiate, since most people aren't going to quad stack 2 games. Most people quad stack, everyone from Portland or Golden State in some way, shape, or form, whether it's reserve or whatever, and then they pick one other player from one game. Most people don't quad stack 2 different games, just trying to choose winners. They just don't. I don't know why, but anyways. So this is my optimal cash lineup for today, and I am backing it with money as usual. Let's get to DraftKings real fast, guys. Now on our upcomings, I've organized this a little bit better. Okay. And we can see it a little bit better too. It does have some glare with the camera, with the black screen. I just noticed that. That's kind of horrible. Is there a way I can fix that for you guys? This just looks like a mirror almost. I might have to backdrop this or do some type of filtering, guys. For now, I hope you can read it. I'll try to, see, I'll adjust it so that the view of me and everything blocks it a bit. Alright, so my ideal lineup for DraftKings today is going to be Lowry at the point guard, Crabbe at the shot guard, Joe Johnson at small forward, the power forward Draymond Green. I don't really like the price as much here, but Bogut is much cheaper here, and Bogut is a lock on DraftKings. You should be locking Bogut no matter what. McCollum for the guard, Harrison Barnes for your forward, and for your utility player, get Damian Lillard. And that uses all your salary, and if you look at the greens on the side and everything else, like the guys that do have red in their opponent rankings next to them are pretty much decent guys that score fantasy points no matter what, so it's not a big deal. That's my ideal cash lineup for DraftKings today. You could try it in tournament as well. I run that in the free contest. Let me go ahead and give you the other ones. I did Roto Grinders, Roto Wire, and Roto QL and Fantasy Pros, and yesterday their scores were as follows. I'll do their results real fast. They were actually pretty good. Okay, so on the side there, I don't know if you guys can see those numbers, but I'll try to zoom in a little. And where it says 832nd, that was the free play where it's when they're landing near the top. That was mine, and that one landed at 293, I believe. Then the other ones in order were, let's see, 288, 290. RotoWire and Roto Grinders both did good at 288 and 290. And Fantasy Pros did a 272, and RotoQL did a 245. So basically my optimal and Roto Grinders and RotoWire yesterday were the good ones. So let's get into the other optimals for today. And I got pictures again real fast, and we're going to go through this pretty quickly, guys, because I got to try to fit it for everyone. Alright, so Roto Grinders today is... They have Lillard and... No, is that... I screwed it up again. Oh yeah, okay, this is RotoWire. Sorry, guys. RotoWire has Lillard in the point guard, Crabbe in the shot guard, Carroll in the small forward, Draymond Green for the power forward, Bogut for the center. Wait, they don't have Bogut for the center. This is a different one. God damn it. Which one? It should be the poker one. Sorry, guys. I did these in order, and I need to write down how I do them because it's up by up. My apologies. Okay, this is it. This is Roto Grinders. Roto Grinders is Lillard and Crabbe. Lillard for the point guard, Crabbe for the shot guard, Aminu for the small forward, Green for the power forward. Center is Spigots. Guard is Lowry, forward is Johnson, utility is DeRozan, and the whole lineup is projected at 258 points. I wasn't able to break it down, but I was able to get a projection. Okay, the next one. This is how it is right now, because I did that one later, I'm sure of it. This one must be RotoWire. I wish these things would play in order. What a fucking bunch of morons. Is this wire right here? Who is it? Let's see. No, that's not it. Maybe this is it. No, that's not it. I'm sorry, guys. I really am, because I feel like I'm delaying this video, and if I'd put these in the right order, if someone knew how I could sort these things, God, I would just love you to death. I mean, the first one I did, why is it not showing? And I had Spigots, and I projected it. I'm supposed to have one with Lillard and Lowry. How can I see all of my lineups at once? Okay, I think this is it. Lillard, this is RotoWire. Lillard projecting at 47 points. Crabbe projecting at 19.5 points. Carroll projecting at 24 points. Draymond Green projecting at 42 points. Bogut projecting at 23 points. Lowry projecting at 38 points. Harkless projecting at 26 points. And McCollum for your utility projecting at 35 points. My God, what a mess. That was RotoWire, guys. Okay, now let me find RotoQL. Jesus Christ. There's only two left. Yeah, this is RotoQL. They made it easy for me here. RotoQL is Dragic for the point guard projecting at 34. DeRozan for small shot guard projecting at 36. Harkless at small forward projecting at 28. Draymond Green at power forward projecting at 38. Hassan Whiteside at center projecting at 39. Norman Powell for guard projecting at 30. Harrison Barnes at forward projecting at 24. And McCollum for utility projecting at 34. Whole lineup projects at 262. Okay, and the last upcoming one is this one. And this is Fantasy Pros, I believe, because it was easy for me to get them. I couldn't do Daily... Oh, no, this was Daily Fantasy Nerd. I was able to get them a second time. Haha, because they were good yesterday. I have Lowry at the point guard, Crabbe at the shot guard, Joe Johnson at small forward, Draymond Green at power forward, center Bogut, guard McCollum, forward Barnes, and utility Damian Lillard. And their projections in order. Lowry projects at 39, Crabbe at 20, Johnson at 25, Green at 45, Bogut at 22, McCollum at 39, Barnes at 26, and Lillard at 40. Yesterday's results on DraftKings, guys, I showed those to you guys real fast, so that pretty much covers it. I'll go back to my optimal DraftKings lineup, which was the best for yesterday anyways. I think I've got a little bit of a knack for kind of seeing the way these things are supposed to go, but I'm also playing, numbers and where projections go, guys, so, I apologize for that. Sometimes, I guess it's just a skill. You just have to kind of, read game flows and narratives. And alright, so my ideal lineup for DraftKings would be Livingston for point guard, Klay Thompson for shot guard, Luol Deng for small forward, Easy Ed Davis for your power forward, take your Bogut for your center, take McCollum for your guard, take Draymond Green for your forward, and utility Harrison Barnes. And that's your optimal DraftKings lineup for today. I'm going to go back, I'm going to do your optimal FanDuel lineup, and we're going to end the show there. Your optimal FanDuel lineup is Lillard and Dragic at the point guard positions, Thompson and Wade at the shot guard positions, Joe Johnson and Harrison Barnes at the small forward, Draymond Green and Luol Deng for power forward, and Bogut for the center. And remember, this is also somewhat tournament-y, guys. I would be careful and bet light today because it's a 2-game slate, and all your cards are on Golden State really kicking butt there and putting up a lot of scoring. That Lillard is the only answer that they have for Portland, and that Miami hangs real tough with Toronto and high scores. But I think that is going to happen, so that's why I'm pushing your optimal there. All right, have a great afternoon, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. That's Fantasy Forecast for May 3rd, 2016. Hope you all are having a wonderful week so far. Hope you guys are all winning money like me and using the lineups and doing well. Keep it as cash lineups, even if you do GPP. Remember, guys, because cash is definitely winning. All right. Love you all. Have a wonderful rest of the week. I'll probably talk to you guys tomorrow if we have a 2-game slate. If not, we'll talk again soon. Go out there and go win some big money.